On June 16, 2025 in Brandon, Mississippi, it was a typical Tuesday evening at a McDonald's restaurant off Stribling Lane. Families stood in line, scrolling on their phones. Children played nearby. Staff moved quickly behind the counter, fulfilling orders during the dinner rush. Among them was 25-year-old Kianna Jackson, a young mother of two with dreams of becoming a nurse. She had clocked in just like any other day, flashing her bright smile, the same one that co-workers and customers had come to admire. What no one in the restaurant knew was that Kianna's life had less than 2 hours to live. At 6:45 p.m., the air inside the McDonald's shifted from routine to horror. Gunfire shattered the normalcy. Customers fled in panic, meals abandoned mid-bite. And lying on the floor, bleeding from a gunshot wound, was Kianna Jackson, murdered in cold blood while working her shift. Her killer stood nearby, 27-year-old Jhonterryes Dampier, the father of her children. But what turned this tragedy from heartbreaking to unimaginable was who saw it happen: Kianna and John's two children, just 5 and 3 years old. They were inside the McDonald's when their father gunned down their mother in front of them. Within moments, John turned the weapon on himself. He didn't die immediately. He would spend 2 days in critical condition before succumbing to his self-inflicted gunshot wound, in a matter of minutes. 2 young children were orphaned. Kianna Jackson wasn't just another face in the crowd. Her life was filled with ambition, love, and unwavering devotion to her children. A graduate of Pearl High School and a student at Hines Community College, she had plans, big ones. Nursing school was next on her list. Just 3 days before her murder, she celebrated her daughter's preschool graduation. Photos from that day showed Kianna smiling beside Dampier. No one could have predicted that this man, her partner and the father of her children, would soon become her killer. Her social media told the story of a mother who adored her kids, documenting their milestones, birthday parties, and silly moments. Every post was a love letter to motherhood. Every photo was a testament to how hard she was working to build a better life. Jhonterryes Dampier had served in the U.S. Army. To some, he was a devoted father. His obituary described him as loving and kind. But those who knew the truth offered a very different account: he's a killer. Y'all lying about him, even in death, one person commented online. Another friend wrote, JT was jealous of your light from the beginning. You had a glow, a purpose, and a strength not everyone can handle. He thought having kids with you would tie you down. But you kept rising. This wasn't a random act of violence. This was a calculated killing rooted in jealousy and control. Dampier, by several accounts, had long harbored resentment over Kianna's strength, independence, and ambition. Each success she achieved was a reminder of his own failures. And it broke him. Friends had noticed troubling signs. Dampier's reactions to Kianna's success were never joyful. He didn't celebrate her wins, he tried to diminish them. What the world saw as protective behavior, others saw as controlling. Possessive. Dangerous. This is a familiar pattern in abusive relationships. As the victim gains independence emotionally, financially, physically, the abuser's desperation intensifies. That desperation can turn deadly. Kianna wasn't trying to run. She was trying to rise. And that made her a target. By all accounts, the day began like any other. Kianna arrived for work at 4:30 p.m., exchanged greetings, and jumped into her shift. By 6:45 p.m., she lay dead on the restaurant floor. Dampier had walked into the McDonald's with a gun. Witnesses said he shot her in cold blood. Police arrived quickly, finding both Kianna and Dampier inside. She was pronounced dead at the scene. He was rushed to the hospital, where he died 2 days later. Brandon Mayor Butch Lee called the incident deeply tragic, especially considering the presence of children during the shooting. What was supposed to be a family-friendly restaurant had become a scene of bloodshed and trauma. Brandon is a quiet community. Locals were stunned. Things like this don't happen here, said longtime resident Tricia Hayes, but they did. And they do. Domestic violence knows no boundaries, not geography, income, race, or age. It hides behind smiles, social media photos, and holiday gatherings, and it explodes when you least expect it. Kianna's friends remembered her as a beacon. One woman recalled a brief but meaningful encounter at a park just hours before the shooting. Their children played together. Kianna spoke of nursing school, her goals, her children. They exchanged numbers, planning to meet again. Minutes later, she was gone. Kianna's story isn't just about how she died, it's about how she lived. She fought for a better life. She cherished her children. She gave light. And that's what makes her loss even more devastating. There will be no trial. Dampier died before answering for his crime. But his actions tell the full story. He couldn't tolerate Kianna's success, her light, her ability to thrive without him. And so, in a cowardly act of violence, he silenced her forever, but he didn't kill her spirit. Her friends say, true light like Kianna's doesn't die. It rises. Kianna's murder is a call to action. It's a plea to recognize the early signs of emotional abuse, coercive control, and intimate partner violence. It's a reminder to take threats seriously and support victims even when danger seems invisible, and it's a call to never forget the faces behind these tragedies. The greatest loss is borne by Kianna and John's children, left to grow up without a mother or a father. A GoFundMe set up by her family aims to cover funeral costs and build a trust for the children's future. But no fund can replace what they've lost. This wasn't a robbery. This wasn't random. This was femicide murder driven by power, jealousy, and control. Kianna Jackson deserved more. Her children deserved better. And this country must do more to protect women like her. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. One call could save a life.